Hi, it's Vicki with the Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm so glad that you joined me today. I have a really fun project that I want to show you. Actually, I'm not going to show you the project just yet, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to make the project out of. Isn't this pretty? It's laser cut paper made into lace. I'm going to take one panel and I'm going to make 2 cards from it. I can't wait to show you. In the meantime, I just wanted to show you that we have a new catalog coming out. I went to On Stage, a Stampin' Up! Convention, just 2 weekends ago in Charlotte, and they gave us this new catalog, and it is fantastic. I can't open it and show you just yet because it's a secret. But come May, I can order them, and I would be happy to send one to you if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'll leave my email up above, and I would be thrilled to be your demonstrator. In the meantime, let's get started playing with some lace. Okay, the stamp set that we're going to use is Tea Together, and I chose this lovely little laser cut lace paper, and as you can see, it is a petal pink color on one side. I think that's the name of the color, and it's white on the other. And so what we're going to do is a technique called sponging. You can purchase these sponges from Stampin' Up! And you can get 3 to a pack. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them in half. I'm actually going to quarter them. Just using just regular old scissors. And we're going to sponge our card. So the colors we're going to go with is Highland Heather, and then we're going to use white, and then we're going to sponge. My Highland Heather is 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And then I have one for the outside that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then I have one panel that is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some washi tape, and I'm going to just place this over the top so that it's all sides are even. And then I'm going to take washi tape and just tape a few pieces around the edges of it so that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, I've got that all taped down, and you'll notice that I did not, I taped just on the edges, and I tried not to get on this white because I don't want anything to mess up the surface of it, you know, to keep me from being able to sponge. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sponge and I'm just going to dab, and then we're just going to dab over. And you want to get a full coverage. You want to get a full coverage on your stencil, basically is what it is. And then you also want to get full coverage on your paper. So I'm going to do this, and I'll fast forward so you don't have to just watch me sponging the whole time. Okay, now you're going to take the little edges off, and you're going to go ahead, hold it down, but then you're going to go ahead and just sponge over those edges. And you're going to want to try to make sure that where the tape was, that you cover that up pretty evenly so that there's no line. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set the frame aside. Isn't that pretty though? Doesn't that make a beautiful frame? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere my larger piece of white cardstock. I made it larger than I normally do. I normally go 1/4 inch smaller on each side, but this time I went by the 1/8 because I just wanted my purple just barely, my Highland Heather, just barely peeking out. I need to get the setting just right, or the placement of it just right. There we go. That's much better. So then I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals because I want it to have a little bit of dimension to it. There we go. Aren't those colors, isn't that pretty, the colors of it and the design? Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. The next little bit I'm going to do for my card is I'm going to stamp Happy Mother's Day in Highland Heather on a piece of scrap paper. just like that. And then I'm going to cut it out using my punch. So what I've already done is I've already cut out foil paper that I am going to put behind it. And so a little trick that I know is that you cut it in half, and then you can glue it here and then on this side, and you take half of it and place it here. Just make sure that it's all lined up so it doesn't show. Then you take the other one, twirled it all the way around, didn't I? There we go. You want to make sure you got it even, and we'll end up putting it right about here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to wipe it all over the surface of the area that I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to take Versamark. It's a watermark stamp, and I'm going to stamp this beautiful flower using Versamark. It's a very sticky type of substance, and I'm also going to do another one. You know, I think I'll do two. I'll do two right here, and then I'm going to use a smaller flower, and I'm going to do two of those as well, because we've got two cards that we're working on. So I'm going to use a coffee filter, and I'm going to pour embossing powder all over the top of it. I use the coffee filter because it's easy to get it to go back into the jar. There we go. I heat up my embossing gun, and then once it's hot, I'll show you what happens. It's really cool. Can you see it going solid? I like to do it on the back side too, because sometimes the heat will make it want to curl. Okay, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that neat? Can you see the plot? It's like outlined with a nice raised outline. It's really cool. What I'm going to do next is I'm taking Wink of Stella, and I just lightly kissed the ink pad with my smallest block, and I'm stirring it around because I want to have some frosty purple. Now I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to color in these beautiful little flowers within the lines of the embossing. Okay, now what I'll do is just squeeze and clean it off like this, get the color out of it. Now I'm going to take a marker and just go on the inside of this flower just to create the, the pistil. And I will take Pear Pizzazz and another block, and I'll use my blender pen. Move that around a little bit, and I'll color in these flowers with that. Okay, and then you do the same thing. You just run it along your paper to get that ink off. All right, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to bring in my Big Shot. I'm going to use the framelits and cut out the flowers. There we go. So go ahead and put that down, and then I'll just crank it through. And look at what we have here. Aren't those pretty? All right, so we're ready to put our card together. Since we popped this up on dimensionals, let me see. I think I'm just going to adhere it to it, and then I'll pop my flowers up with dimensionals. All right, so that's adhered. Now we're going to use some dimensionals, and we're going to pop our flower up to decorate the front of it. Oh, that's pretty. All right, should we actually do it here? Oh yeah, I think maybe down here. Put it right there, and then we'll put this other smaller one I'm going to put that right there. Isn't that beautiful? It's such a pretty card. Okay, so we're going to use, it's from the stamp set Strong and Beautiful. We're going to use To the Woman Who Does It All with Grace and Beauty. And then we're going to put a couple flowers on each side. It's a very pretty card. And this will go to my mother-in-law, Diane, who lives in St. Louis. And she probably won't be watching this video. But I wanted to make this for her. And we will actually be with her. Gosh, I can't get it right. We'll actually be with her on Mother's Day in New Hampshire while my husband graduates from college. He'll be getting his degree or his diploma. Okay, the second card that we're doing is very much like the first. We're still using the Highland Heather, and all we have to do is actually put it together this time. Let's see. Yep, we can go ahead and put this on. Now this one, we'll have to be very careful about gluing. You just want to basically hit the thick areas, or else glue will just come streaming out everywhere. Some might prefer to use snail. I don't know. I love snail adhesive, but you can't get into tiny places as well as you can with something like this, with the Tombow. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and just adhere it down. Plus with snail you can't scoot it around once you lay it down. And I do have to make sure that my top and bottom margins are pretty much the same, or it's going to look wonky. I don't like to do wonky cards. I don't know about you. There we go. Okay, that little tip wants to stand up a little bit, so I'll just stick a little bit of glue under it, and it won't stick up anymore. Okay, we're going to make this one a Mother's Day card as well. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp Happy Mother's Day here on a piece of scratch. And I'm going to punch it out like that. This card is going to go to my sister-in-law. She will also be in New Hampshire with us. We rented a farmhouse, and we're splitting it, and we're going to be going up to the White Mountains into Lake Winnipesaukee, and I'm hoping that we can get over to Maine so I can get some Maine lobster. I always tease about going to Cabot Cove where Jessica Fletcher's at, because I'm a big time Murder, She Wrote fan. I know there's not really such a place, but it's fun to pretend. But just to get to go to Maine and be able to get some of the lobster, it's a state I've never been before. I've been pretty much all over the U.S. except for the upper, like the northwest portion and the northeast portion. So this will be fun to see something new. Okay. Okay, now all we have to do is stamp the inside of it. And I don't really want to do a Mother's Day type thing because she's not our mother. She's my husband's sister. And so I think I'm going to just go with something like You're Like a Diamond, Resilient, Strong, and Beautiful, because she is. She's one of the most beautiful people that I know. And I could not be more proud to have her as my sister-in-law. Okay, these are the cling stamps, and they cling so well that sometimes you have to give it a little help to get it up off of the thing. If you don't, you'll pull the rubber right off. So sometimes it's best to just use your pointer tool. So Here we go. I need to re-ink my pad. That's why I'm having to kiss the bunny several times. There we go. You are like a diamond, resilient, strong, and beautiful. I think that's a beautiful sentiment for my sister-in-law. I have some fantastic women in my life that I'm so very proud to have. I lost my mom 9 years ago, and my mother-in-laws, my husband's mother and his stepmother have just been mothers to me, and his sister has been a sister to me, and I couldn't ask for stronger, more beautiful women in my life, and I'm so thankful for them. If you have your mother still with you, cherish them, because you won't always, even if they're aggravating. Which, face it, sometimes moms can be. Sometimes they can be aggravating. I'm a mom. I know I can be aggravating sometimes. I don't listen very well when my children try to tell me what to do. They try to slow me down or whatever when I'm recovering. I'm a little bit hard-headed. And my family says amen. But anyway, these are my two beautiful cards. I'm so happy with them. I think they turned out so well. And you can see how you can use one template and you can make two different cards out of them and make them so beautiful. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And if you like this video, please feel free to hit subscribe and leave me a comment under the video. I value your feedback. And if you want to see more, then just click the little bell so that you get notifications. My Facebook page is The Paper Connection, so if you would like to go to my page and click like, you'll see events and different things that are going on. So anyway, thanks so much. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day.